After spending a month in New Zealand and Australia, I returned home with incredible memories and 35 amazing new friends. It was almost too overwhelming to recount all of my experiences to my friends and family. They seemed to keep asking what my favorite part of the trip was, and there was no way I could decide on one thing. But there are two key places that immediately come to mind when I think about my new perspective on sustainability. Those are the Fiordlands and Lady Elliot Island. Until this trip, I had thought of sustainability as the opposite of progress. If an area were progressing, the land must be depleting, and if the land was conserved, then there must be no progression in that area. With that mindset, I thought very negatively about anyone that was using the natural resources in such incredible places like the ones I had seen over the past month. I thought that their work was likely unnecessary and driven by greed for too much progress. However, these two places and the people that I've met in them have taught me to be accepting and welcoming of those who use the land, because there is a way for society to progress and the land to be conserved and respected all at the same time. While on Lady Elliot Island and learning about the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority's zoning system, the term reasonable use really stood out to me. Knowing that the reef was separated into different zones based on the area's ecology was eye-opening. I realized it wasn't an either-or situation. The land was both used and conserved. I found it so interesting that there was a system put into place that accommodated both the needs of society and the needs of the land, so that it was not deteriorated for future generations. It also stood out to me that the authority that facilitated the conservation of the reef was understanding of the need to fish in the reef. It made me realize that I was being too critical of our society. I also saw this idea in the Fiordlands. The Guardians of the Fiordlands set up a system of gifts and gains where the people from both the societal progression standpoint and the conservation standpoint recognized that they would have to give up something to gain something in return. I was thrown off again because I did not expect the two sides to recognize their need for one another. Having both the businesses and the land regulations in the fjords allows opportunities for both groups. The tours in the Fiordlands create the revenue for conservation efforts and also create an opportunity for education and awareness with tourists. On the other hand, the conservationists keep the land in its native form so that people can continue to visit the area. Though Lady Elliot Island and the Fiordlands stuck out in my mind as the best examples of modern sustainability and progress together, I began to see this concept at each one of our destinations. I even realized how logical and possible it would be to bring this idea back to the U.S. Looking back on my experience on the other side of the world, I still can't believe how much everything exceeded my expectations, even the perspective that I left with. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity and to have such an amazing month abroad.